Hey there and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that's, usually kind of overlooked, but is actually a huge strategic lever for any business in Malaysia, the office copier. Seriously, we're about to completely change how you see this machine, not just as another line item expense, but as a key to unlocking some serious financial flexibility and making your office run a whole lot smoother.
So, let me ask you something. That machine sitting in the corner of your office, is it really an asset? Or could it be a hidden liability, just waiting to cause problems? I mean, if you actually own it, you know the pain, right? The surprise repair bills that pop up out of nowhere, that nagging feeling that it's getting old and slow, and of course, that big chunk of cash you tied up in something that loses value every single day. It's a common headache, for sure, but there is a much, much smarter way to go about it.
In that solution, it all comes down to one simple but powerful shift, from buying to renting. I mean, look at this. When you buy, you're hit with a massive capital expense, totally unpredictable maintenance costs, and you're always running the risk that your tech becomes obsolete. But when you rent, bam, you switch to a predictable monthly operational cost. Maintenance is just included, no worries, and upgrading to the latest tech is easy. The difference, strategically, is just night and day.
All right, so here's the game plan for the next few minutes. We're going to walk through 5 key areas. We'll start with the big why behind renting, then we'll get into figuring out what you actually need, break down the real costs, learn how to decode those tricky contracts, and finally, how to make sure you're getting the most out of your investment. So let's jump right in.
First up, why even bother renting? Well, this is all about making a really smart, strategic shift. You're moving away from the burden of owning a depreciating asset and into the flexibility of a service model. It's a fundamental change in mindset.
So, the most crucial concept to get your head around is CAPEX versus OPEX. Buying a copier, that's a capital expenditure, a huge chunk of cash gone in one go. Renting completely transforms that into an operational expenditure, a nice, predictable, manageable monthly payment. What does that do? It keeps your cash flow healthy and free for the things that actually grow your business. And here's a massive perk, especially in the Malaysian market. It's what we call the zero-risk maintenance model. Basically, your monthly rental fee includes everything. We're talking toner, spare parts, labor, even on-site support. So no more panic and surprise invoices when the machine inevitably breaks down. It's all bundled into one fixed cost you can actually budget for. Okay, let's move on to the next critical step. Because before you even dream of talking to a salesperson, you need a blueprint. You have to understand your own needs first. This is, without a doubt, the most important step, to avoid overpaying for a machine you don't need, or, even worse, getting one that can't handle your workload.
So here's your homework, your checklist. First, you need to really know your monthly print volume, how many black and white pages, and how many color. How fast does it need to be? That's pages per minute. And what features are absolute must-haves for you, like scanning, stapling, or mobile printing from your phone? Answering these questions first puts you in complete control of the conversation.
And once you have those answers, you can start to match your needs to the right grade of equipment. A brand new machine? Yeah, it's a higher cost, but it's perfect for a big corporation with really critical, high-volume demands. Reconditioned units? These are often the sweet spot, offering a fantastic balance of cost and reliability for most SMEs. And for startups or offices that don't print much, a used machine gets you in the door at the lowest possible cost.
Okay, let's talk about the money. Section 3 is all about the real, true cost of renting. And this includes some pretty significant tax advantages right here in Malaysia that you absolutely need to know about.
Now check this out, because the tax treatment is fascinating. Under the Income Tax Act 1967, your monthly rental payments are fully deductible as an operating expense. You get to write it all off within the year. Compare that to buying, where you have to claim these things called capital allowances over several years. It's way more complicated. Renting gives you a much simpler and more immediate tax benefit. It's a no-brainer.
So, beyond the base rent, you also pay for every page you print. But for a standard black and white A4 copy, the industry benchmark is incredibly low. We're talking around 3 cents. That's it. This is where you see just massive savings compared to going to a retail print shop. But, and this is a huge but, look at the jump for color. It goes all the way up to around 40 cents per page. This massive gap is exactly why understanding your color print volume and then negotiating your contract around that is absolutely critical to keeping your costs under control.
And that brings us to the most high-stakes section of them all, decoding your rental contract. The devil is truly in the details here, and what's in that fine print can either save you a fortune or trap you in a really bad deal. You cannot afford to skim this part.
And let's be crystal clear about the stakes here. Malaysian contract law is serious business. This quote really says it all. If there's a dispute, the vendor often holds all the cards. That's precisely why you have to read, understand, and question every single clause before you even think about signing.
So, you've got to watch out for these three big traps. First, the automatic renewal clause. It can lock you into another long term if you just forget to give notice on time. Then you've got early termination fees, or ETFs, which can make it financially crippling to leave a contract you're unhappy with. And finally, minimum copy charges. This is where you pay for a certain number of prints whether you use them or not.
So this is a crucial choice you have to make, the pricing structure. With a free copy structure, you get a set allowance of prints included, and you only pay for what you use above that. This is perfect for businesses where printing volume goes up and down. A minimum copy structure, on the other hand, forces you to pay for a set number of prints every single month. That only makes sense if your print volume is consistently very high and very stable. All right, for our final section, let's bring it all home. Now that you know the landscape, the benefits, and the risks, let's talk about how you can actively optimize your investment. This is all about smart negotiation up front and having a solid end-of-lease plan. Here is your negotiation playbook. It's pretty simple. 1. Commit to a longer term, say 60 months, to get the absolute lowest monthly rate possible. 2. Focus your energy on negotiating more free color copies. Remember how expensive they are? That's where you'll find the biggest savings. And 3. If you need more than one machine, always ask for a bundled or volume discount.
And when your contract is finally up, you've still got options. You can trade in your old machine and upgrade to the latest and greatest tech. That's the most common route. If your current machine is still a workhorse and you love it, you can often extend the lease, usually at a nice discount. Or you can choose to just buy the machine outright at its current fair market value.
So, we end with this one question for you. After going through all of this, do you still see your office equipment as just another cost you have to deal with? Or do you now see it for what it can be? A strategic tool you can use to improve your cash flow, boost efficiency, and help grow your business. The choice and the advantage is all yours. Thanks for watching.